find something.
Yeah.
Okay. Being as 10 o'clock, we will call a public hearing
Do we need
to
to
order.
motion
We
to
need to
Moderate.
reconvene, yes.
motion to reconvene?
Yep, and I'll second it.
All in favor? It is 10 o'clock. We will now start the public hearing for the consideration of the continuing the moratorium till 2015. We'll start with public comment. Please give your name, address, if anybody who wishes to address the board at this time.
I'm not shy, it's too cold to be shy.
That's right.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ken Jumper from La Crescent Township. I want to strongly encourage you to renew the moratorium for a year. I assume that's why you're having a public hearing, because you're probably going to do that, otherwise you'd let it expire. I want to say a couple things. I hope you'll use, first I want to thank you for the last two moratoriums. I think it had given us a lot of time to look at this issue more carefully, and I think it has really helped fill out the picture about what an incompatible land use activity frac sand mining is. It's incompatible with everything else that goes on in this county. So I hope you'll use this year to put together an ordinance that'll prohibit frac sand mining. I think that will put you in the mainstream of public opinion in this end of the state. When I'm done speaking, I'm going to give each of you a handout about all the grassroots activities that have happened in the last 2 years in southeastern Minnesota, all directed at stopping and prohibiting and impeding frac sand mining in this end of the state. So I hope you'll use this year, perhaps even before the end of this moratorium, to put together a really well thought out, sound ordinance that will prohibit frac sand mining in Houston County. I think that'll be entirely consistent with what people want in Houston County, the vast majority, probably about 80%, because that's what we're finding when we go door to door to talk about this issue. So thank you for the work you've done on this so far, and I hope you'll pass this moratorium today, and I hope you'll use that time to really put together a very well thought out ordinance that will prohibit frac sand mining in Minnesota, in Houston County. Thank you. Let me give each of you this. Yep.
Thank you.
Here it is.
For more info. Anyone else? I knew Kelly was coming. She forewarned us.
Kelly Stanage, Houston Township. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board. I wanted to commend the board on your careful and serious consideration of this very important topic. I also want to compliment you on your decision to take it on at the board level. A topic of this level of importance really does need leadership at the highest levels of government. So I commend you for that as well. This whole thing hasn't been easy for anyone involved. I think one thing that's really good that has come out of this is the fact that now you've got a number of community members that are very interested in getting engaged in where we take this county as a community. So I hope you will continue to listen to community members. You don't have to always agree with them, but it's good to listen, and as you allow the community conversation to progress, I think you will find that people will be more behind your decision-making processes when they're engaged in the process. I do want to encourage you to pass the moratorium resolution that's on the table today, And I thank you for your dedication on behalf of the county. Thank you.
Donna Buckby, Yucatan Township, thank you all. I do hope you will pass the moratorium extension. As most of you know, I and some other people were going door to door last fall, and the sense is that 70 to 75% of the people we talk to at the door that will sign the petition to ban frac sand mining in this county, they will sign it right away. Another about 20% want more information, and when we give it to them at the door, many of them will sign it right then and there, and some of them will say, well, I just need to study this and think about this, and that's fine. Only about 5% of the people, and this holds true across the board, about 5% of the people in this county want frac sand mining. So I had hoped to spend the winter going door to door, but obviously because of this extraordinarily cold winter, we have not been doing that. So I look forward to an extension of the moratorium. So, as soon as the weather breaks, we can start going door to door again throughout the county. So you would get a true reading. I hope you will extend the moratorium. My respect to all of you for your consideration in this matter. Thank you. Nobody else?
I would like to say something. I am Lorraine Culver. I live in the city of Houston, and I moved here a year and about 4 months ago from the city of Chicago, where I lived for 45 years. In my last 7 years in Chicago, I lived in very close to what is called the back of the yards neighborhood, which is the neighborhood, the residential neighborhood that grew up around the Union Stockyards. And those stockyards closed in the late 60s. It is still it's still an industrial site, but a lighter industrial site. And then just the larger area there is a lot of industry and a lot of big old trucks going by. And I frequently ate my lunch at a bar kitty corner from the community mental health center where I worked, where the woman was running a bar that her father had started 75 to 80 years earlier. And every day of the week, the work week, there was a fresh cooked homemade lunch offered there along with sandwiches and so on. And I got to know her a little, and then she was older, slightly older than the bar, I'll put it that way. And she had a somewhat younger sister and other family members that would come by for lunch from time to time. And I had been in that place, in that bar, when there's a sudden thud, which means that one of those trucks that has to have a wide turn around the corner had banged into the cement and steel post that was there to keep the trucks from hitting the building again. Now that truck didn't come back, and that truck driver did not come back and see what happened. And also, one of those trucks coming around the corner around noontime knocked down the lady's brother-in-law and killed him. And his wife sat in the street next to his body until emergency people came. And I know that's just an anecdote, but the Houston County Protectors have put out some information about how heavy truck traffic affects accidents and fatalities, and it is not good.
Thank you.
Um,
We have to limit you time-wise, but.
Okay, just one more thing then. What I would like to say is that we should not ask, how much can we let these people hurt us with their frac sand mines? We should say, we don't want to be hurt at all.
What was your last name? I didn't catch it, ma'am.
Culver?
Culver?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Laverne Mossman from Caledonia Township. And sometimes when it comes to things like this, I'm a man of few words. But I usually mean what I say. And I really, my concern is not for me and my wife. You know, we're here today, maybe gone tomorrow. I think this here thing goes a lot farther than all of us. It's our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The grandchildren and great-grandchildren are the ones that may suffer from bad consequences. And this county it's a beautiful county. And I see no reason why it should be torn up for a few people that would like to have this frac sand mine going on. The rest of us are going to pay the price or suffer because of it. And I really think that that to continue the moratorium for another year would be very wise, because find out just how things are going in some other areas. We don't need to fly into something like this overnight. We can wait. There's plenty of time. 5 years from now is probably plenty of time for these companies. They just want to grab into right now. So that's all I've got to say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Julia Mossman, Caledonia Township. I would like to thank the commissioners for the patience and the time they have taken thus far, and they're on the right road. I really can't add. I was wonderfully surprised to hear Laverne get up here, but not a bit surprised to hear what he said. We talk about this nearly every day in our home. We're very, very, very concerned about it. And we follow it not only on the television, we take the Minneapolis paper, the La Crosse paper, the Caledonia paper to keep in track of what's going on. We're very concerned. And the future is yet to be found. But we both have the benefit of the education from the past. Don't rush into anything. This is a new adventure, like he says, and there are negative things coming constantly. I pick up the paper, Minneapolis paper, and it tells about the fuel that we're shipping overseas. Then we're talking about ripping up things that danger the water for people, contaminate the soil, for the risk of more energy. Let's have an energy bill for the United States. We're both citizens from World War II. I remember the day that the news came over the radio, not the TV, but the radio, that Pearl Harbor was bombed. And I watched a country come to its feet and save themselves. Every man, woman, and child was involved in that fight. Surely we can win an energy fight. And we must do it safely. Take your time, think about it, and again, thank you so much for the considerations you've given. Think it over. that if there's energy under that ground and there's sand there, it's gonna be there tomorrow. And the next day and the next day. And anybody that has it for sale, it'll still be for sale. But we wanna know that we're not having oil tankers blowing up. This isn't just about frac sand, it's a whole new energy source. And we have got one up there in the sky. It's called solar. And we have energies that are renewable energies. And I'll tell you, Ken and I don't agree on many things, but we're 100% on that one. Okay? Thank you for listening.
All right, Sarah Wexlerman, Yucatan Township. I am so happy to live in this county. I love it. I love everything about it. I love the agriculture. I love the tourist economy. I love the coffee shops and the restaurants and just the general community that you find here all throughout the county. It's incredible. And I moved here for that reason. I'm a city girl. I've lived in the city, the Twin Cities, my whole life, and this is where I want to be. In the 3 years that I've lived here, 4 years I've lived here, I've spent 2.5 of them dedicated to stopping this industry from taking that away. It's not compatible to our economy. It's not why people live here. It's not why I live here. It's not what I want to raise my family here. And I don't come to every single Houston County Commissioners meeting every Tuesday morning with my camera because I really want to be here. I come here because the community wants to know what's going on. The community watches these videos and they're concerned about this too. And not everybody can spend the time at these meetings. And I just want you to know that there's a tremendous amount of people out there supporting you, supporting this moratorium, and willing to help in any way we can to stop this industry from harming the beautiful home we live in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Sounds good, thank you. Okay.
I was expecting other people to go first. My name is Steve Hartwick. I'm from Money Creek Township. I've been a resident there for 37 years. I'm asking you to extend the moratorium because I think with the EQB developing guidelines, that this is going to be an evolutionary process, and hopefully they'll come up with something besides just guidelines and suggestions, but actual regulations. And when it comes to regulations, then it becomes an issue of enforcement. And I think Houston County needs to spend some time in the near future addressing what the costs of that enforcement is going to be. And one of the things that I think Houston County should do is request of the EQB language in regards to prohibition, because this would probably be the most cost-effective way of dealing with this issue. And I don't think they will come forward with that unless it is asked of them. So it's incumbent upon you folks to initiate this, and just as it's not something that's required for you to use, but it would be a tool in your toolbox should you come down to weighing pros and cons of what we can do in Houston County. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak during our public comment period? Being that there are no other speakers, commissioners?
I move to extend the moratorium for another year.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion has passed to extend the moratorium till March of 2015.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.